Here we go. Right, back on the second stage, London Film Comic-Con on Sunday. We're here with Wayne and Tracey. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. It's going to be fun. I promise. It's going to be fun. I'm going to let Mark start.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm putting you on spot. I love doing this on the show.
That's why he's giving me the cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So let's start off with, let's have a quick chat then with Wayne. Mr. Wayne Michaels, you are a stuntman. You were in Indiana Jones Last Crusade, are you not?
Yep.
Batman.
Yes.
Batman. And my favourite, and for me anyway, GoldenEye, with that iconic opening stunt with top of the dam, and you do a bunch of jump down. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that all come about? Was that something that you were approached to do, or was that just something that was in the script and then it was just kind of you asked to do it?
Well, I was well known in the industry for doing lots of high work, so I would do lots of high falls and lots of dangerous high stunts. So it was natural that they came to me because I had done lots of that sort of high work before.
Yeah.
So they came to me quite quickly to talk about how best to do it.
So had there been much kind of, has there been many kind of like actual kind of bungee jumps in films before that? You know, was that something that was like, cause what James Bond they tend to do?
No, not really. And we were contemplating doing it in all sorts of different ways. It ended up that way because of how Martin Campbell wanted to shoot it.
Yeah.
But no, not really.
Cool. Okay. And how did you find? Was it a long process? Did you take a lot of planning to do that? Was the actual kind of? It looks like a fairly complicated stunt because obviously you stood right on the edge and it almost looks like you're going to lean over, but clearly you're not. And you go. Was there a lot of planning involved with that, or?
Yeah, the problem we had with the stunt was that you can't see it on the footage, but the wall is made up of thousands, maybe tens of thousands of metal poles that stick out of the wall. And the problem we had was missing the wall, being not hitting and getting shredded by all of these metal construction posts, which you don't actually see in the footage. And then the wall is concave, so you're much more likely to hit it the lower, the further you jump. So that causes some problems, and we were meant to have a very sophisticated dummy to use to do some test drops.
Right.
And in the great tradition of the film industry, the test dummy never turned up. So we're left there, and it's a very expensive sequence to shoot. And we had to cut a tree and throw that off.
Oh wow.
So it was very funny, vast amounts of money was spent on this sequence, and there we were cutting a tree in two, throwing that off and trying to work out whether this was going to work or not. So it was quite amusing.
I mean, you can still actually do that bungee jump today. So
yes, it's not the same jump, but yes, in principle, there is a similar jump they try and do. Yeah.
Ever thought about going back and doing it? No?
My career was, as a professional stunt performer.
Yeah.
So everything was very based on, you would get contracted and you would agree a contract with a fee, and your career moved around the globe doing that.
Gotcha.
So it was rare for you to go back and do something unless it went wrong.
Yeah. So obviously, Tracey, you just said you've objected that, and because you two are married, aren't you? So only just. Since 1990, I think it is. Yeah. So it's a fair few years.
Together 43.
There you go. 43 years together. That's fantastic.
I'm keeping it for a bit longer.
So did you guys meet on set, or how did you kind of
We met when I was training to be a stuntman.
And I cannot really, in a public domain, explain how we met. Suffice to say that Tracey could be quite shocking. And we met in London, when I was living in London, and we got introduced by another stunt double.
Right, yeah.
And
Nick Gillard,
Nick Gillard, who did the stunt.
Yeah,
and Nick and I knew each other from the circus. We worked together in a travelling show. And he introduced us socially. And Tracey was actually dating someone else, weren't you?
I was living with someone.
And so we were just very social, just friends.
Yeah.
And then I was doing a medieval jousting show about 6 months, 12 months later. I think. And I called Tracey up, and I was stupid enough to say, "Oh, Tracey, I hear you've broken up with your boyfriend. Would you like to go out?" And her response was something like,
I thought, and what's it got to do with you?
And we then went out, and I was given a very clear message not to go anywhere near her, right? And we went out for dinner, and that was it.
I said, I'll go out with you just as friends.
Friends.
And that was about
Not with
81.
benefits, not with benefits.
That was about 1981.
So you guys worked together quite a bit then over the course of your career?
Yeah, we did a lot of work together, and interestingly, when I was coordinating, the female stunt double was always Tracey.
Right, convenient.
So she got work because she was sleeping with a stunt coordinator.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the film industry is built on nepotism, really, isn't it? So, you know, that's fair enough.
Actually, we did a bungee jump together. We were meant to be making love in a dangerous place. It was a TV show.
Yeah. But no, seriously, we worked together a lot because Tracey was very, very good.
Yeah.
She was very, very gutsy and was a great performer. So it was just, I was very lucky that I could pull her in on a job, and I always knew that I could trust her, and she was always really very, very good at her job.
And I suppose that's probably the biggest and most important thing, isn't it, really, with stunt work is the trusting the crew around you, trusting the stunts. So I guess having that deeper relationship is going to just benefit like the work that you're able to do. But does that then, did you kind of start to then worry or get more concerned about maybe the pet?
Yeah, what happened was that we had it was Carly.
We have.
No, well, we had two daughters,
Right, yeah.
Both who are stunt women now, and it got to the point where we were working such a lot that we realised that the children weren't saying how wonderful it is, we don't see you, and you're earning lots of money. It was, where's my mum?
Right.
And we decided that because my work was particularly dangerous, that Tracey agreed to slow her work down because we realised that if one of us got badly injured, that was bad enough.
Yeah.
But if both of us got seriously injured, and what happened, we worked in Wales on a picture, and Tracey had to get, someone was jumping off a rock face, side of a cliff, and taking her out on a horse on the side of this cliff, and then the horse is pulled over, and they all go down the cliff face.
Right.
And it went wrong, and she was knocked out, and they're carrying her off the cliff face, taking her to hospital in an ambulance. And in the great tradition of the film industry, of course, what they do is they strip the costume off you because they have to keep shooting.
Yeah.
You know, there's no, they don't really care. It's just, where's next shot, next shot. And it was at that point that we thought, we better stop. One of us needs to stop. And so Tracey cut her work down a great deal, and I carried on because you know you've got kids and you just can't risk your children.
Exactly. I completely understand. Yeah. And Tracey, you were, you know, before you kind of did slow down, you were in Star Wars. You stunt double for Carrie Fisher, Return of the Jedi. That.
I was.
Yeah. And there's a famous photo, isn't there, of you and Carrie in a dog in sunbathing.
Yeah, George took that, George Lucas took that photo. And after, as he snapped that picture, I woke up. And I remember I said to Carrie, oh, pervert, like that. And she started to laugh. And then he took another photo, of us laughing. There's a photo of that iconic one, of us laughing, and that's what we're laughing at because I called him a pervert. Which is not, of course, it's just a joke.
But, you know, and you were pretty busy on Return of the Jedi because you were a slave lady stunt double and you doubled for C3PO as well.
C3PO, yes. I arrived in the morning and I was told that I was C3PO's double. And I argued that I was not because I was Carrie's double because I did not want to wear that outfit. We were in the desert in Yuma, Arizona. And that should have been Dickie Beer. That was his job. And they said that no, he can't get the costume because it was rubber, the stunt costume was rubber. And you know, there were no zips or anything, there's no fastening, you had to go and pull it up over the hips and he couldn't get it on. So I got the job because I was smaller than him and I was not happy.
I bet, yeah. So, I mean, Arizona is pretty hot. And
it was boiling.
Yeah. So was that C3PO costume, like a stunt costume, was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you did the forward.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe Anthony Daniels was the guy. Maybe his costume was metal. I actually don't remember because I didn't wear his costume. But mine was certainly rubber.
So you bounced a bit.
Well, it didn't make me bounce, but it was a bit more comfortable than wearing metal. And the bikini wasn't metal either. That was, I don't know, made of something rubbery. It wasn't that comfortable.
Oh, well, so what about the Stormtrooper? Because you were also a Stormtrooper.
Oh, the white outfit.
The white costume,
yes. That was another thing I wasn't supposed to do. They didn't have enough on the day, so they said, Tracey, you're a Stormtrooper. And again, I was like, no, that's not my job. And I think we were supposed to be about 5'8", and I'm only 5'4", so I'm like this little short Stormtrooper, which they kind of hid in the background a lot.
Yeah. On Foxman Vendor, so in the big battle scenes, is that right? With Redwood Forest? Is that where you were?
Yes, we were in the Redwoods in San Francisco. No, not San Francisco. Redwoods in California, North California.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you were the first, confirmed female Stormtrooper.
I think I was.
Yeah,
fantastic. I couldn't see if you're male or female in those outfits.
No.
And your father was a Stormtrooper as well, wasn't he?
He wasn't in the white outfit, no, he was. What are the blue ones called?
The Rebels.
He was a rebel.
Right.
Actually, there's a really, I put it on my phone actually, a picture of him.
Okay.
He does a very big close-up in the very first Star Wars film. And I think then they'll get shot.
Because both her parents were stunt people.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, my
mum and dad got
yeah, my mum is the rat. She's really just the rat in the weird, funny animal bar thing.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You can't see its hair because she's
No, so that's fantastic.
She does come to these things sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so now you're second generation stunt, and then your daughter's a third
generation.
Yeah. Do they work in Star Wars? Have they worked in Star Wars?
No,
What did they? Yeah, the newer ones.
Oh,
Don't ask me which ones, but yeah, they worked in Star Wars.
But our youngest daughter, unfortunately, she got badly hurt on Game of Thrones, so that has ended her career. But she was very, very talented kid. But it's the perils of the job, I'm afraid.
I guess so, yeah.
In the world of stunts, what's the most important thing? Because it strikes me from my box that, let's say that GoldenEye jump, loads of prep to get ready. I know you took the tree off to make sure it worked, but there's lots of prep goes into it. I guess there's physics and all sorts of stuff. The guts to do it, is the guts the nerve to do it at all, or is the guts to have the nerve to, when something goes wrong, there's that big percentage gap of I don't quite know what's going to happen? Is that where the nerve comes in? You've got to trust the process to a degree, but is the nerves to go, I'm going to do it even if there's that percentage?
No, people, I can only speak for myself. My career was based on really a very business-like relationship in that you agreed a contract, you knew what you were agreeing to, you agreed a fee, and so it was very logical and business-like for me, rather than thinking about the fear. It was very much that you knew what you were doing, and you should be competent enough to be able to achieve that. The most dangerous part of the stunt is having the strength to say no to a director who has no idea what they're doing when it comes to stunts, and they want to push you into an area that you are going to get injured. So you have to be very strong.
That's interesting. Yeah. Is that a situation that comes up a lot when there's an unreasonable request made? You're coordinator, so it's your team as well. When something's asked, it's like, that's not something we can do.
No, the biggest risks are on the day everything's been planned, and suddenly the director will suddenly say, that's got to change, this has got to move, you've got to do something over there, and then suddenly one of the prep and rehearsal has gone completely out the window, and just those minor timings are out, and suddenly it becomes, you're going to end up in hospital.
Yeah. And that's where, I guess, I don't know the process, but I guess that's where a coordinator would be the guy that steps forward and says,
well, if you're a competent performer, that's where you stand your ground and you say, and then you have a rip-roaring argument, and you have to stand your ground and be very strong.
And how quick sometimes I'm guessing you have to pivot pretty quick if there's a request made, work things out, or is it a process when you just have to step back and say that's just not a doable thing?
It does depend on the sequence, but invariably you will hear about most people getting injured because something has been changed at the last minute, and that has altered everything.
Yeah.
And it can be a very, very small change, but that will transform it from being something that you're going to go home in the evening, or you're going to go to hospital.
That's a big responsibility.
It's massive.
It's a huge responsibility.
The list of films and shows that you've been is epically long, both of you. And I know there's some stunts, obviously, like GoldenEye, are very kind of massive and they're kind of the main part of the film and the highlight. But is there like a specific stunt or something where you've done that you're really most proud of that? Most people would have maybe just not noticed, just slipped by or something. Is there anything
people ask similar questions like that, or they ask what is the most dangerous stunt you've ever done. The problem that we have is that my work started in, let's say, 81, after my time in circus, and I didn't stop for 30, 35 years.
Sure.
Stunting from one job to the other. There were times where I didn't even know what part of the country I was in or what part of the world I was in. So you would travel and travel and travel and stunt, and it just went day in, day out. And so you tended to really think that the best stunt was the last one you did, as long as you didn't end up getting injured. And you lose track of really remembering how dangerous some of them were, because it was a profession. And so, you would look at it as a profession, and you would look at the risk professionally, and I didn't really decipher it as, risk. I would decipher it as, am I able to do this? Can I achieve it? Can I negotiate the contract? Can I get paid?
Yeah.
Can I get home in the evening?
Yeah.
It's a different vision,
So you look at each stunt, I don't know how many stunts would be in an average film. I'm picking Indiana Jones film from my head, thinking 20, 30 stunts, whatever. Do you look at each individual thing as its own little project?
Yeah, and you have different memories for different stunts. We're working with different people. So, for example, I remember I was on a Raiders film. I was quite young and inexperienced, and Vic Armstrong, who was the coordinator, I don't remember which Raiders it was, but he left the set and he left me in charge with Spielberg and Harrison.
Yeah.
And I remember Harrison had to do a jump. He had to swing through a glass window and land in a room. And Spielberg and Harrison had me on set asking me whether Harrison could do it. And I said no, because if he gets injured, you're going to be in big trouble. If he gets it wrong, the window wasn't that large, and he hits his head, his face or something. And I remember that sequence because Harrison was really pissed off.
Right.
And I said the fatal words I said to him were, Harrison, I don't think Vic will want you to do this. And he said, I think I know Vic Armstrong better than you. He was really pissed off.
Yeah.
So I remember the sequence because he was very unhappy.
Yeah. You have to just dig your heels in and go ahead. You had to dig your heels in a little bit. guess.
Yeah, because it was on my call. If he went through that window and got it wrong, you know,
It's on you.
the shit hits the fan.
Yeah. Did that happen often? Because you get actors who seem quite up for it. But you've got to be practical, I guess, as well.
Yeah, and you get a lot of people in the industry, you know, who say they want to do it, but they're desperately hoping that you're going to stop them from doing it.
Yeah.
But it's everyone's ego, you know, you don't want to upset someone's ego.
Yeah.
So, you know, you gently let them down and they act as if they're really unhappy, but actually they're very happy because they go back to their Winnebago, you know, and
Watch you on the monitor.
while someone else takes the risk, which is very sensible.
And are you guys film fans? Because you've both been in these, like Mark said, ridiculous roster of films, like iconic films. But are you film fans? Does that make sense? Because you're intrinsic to the film. Are you fans of film?
No, the problem that I have is that you get so intimate and get so involved that you lose some of the romanticism about it because, you know, you see the other side of it, all the technical problems and you know, the things that go wrong and the issues that you have, the things that you think you could have done better. So I was saying to some of the people who came up for my autograph, when they watched GoldenEye, I said, have you ever looked at my hands just before I leap off the dam? And they say, no, what are you talking about? And I said, well, it's on the big screen. If you look really carefully, right at the bottom you can see my hands are holding on to two cables. And the two cables are connected to weights. And as I leap, I let go of the cables, the weights drop, and then I fly off the dam. And the reason we had to do that was because of the way they wanted me to shoot it and the way they wanted me to be positioned. And you couldn't actually stand on the top of that dam without hanging on to something because you would just unceremoniously fall off and kill yourself. And to get the leap out so that you could get away from the wall, you had to position yourself at an angle that you could really take off and make the distance. And no one sees it. If you watch it carefully, you'll see it.
No, you'll be watching that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, until we spoke about
It's
it.
literally just that.
Yeah.
The hand goes like that, and then you see a cable drop.
Right, okay.
I suppose the difference is that we're watching you do your stunts in Jedi, and we're not supposed to think it's you. We're supposed to think that's Carrie Fisher. We're supposed to think that's Pierce Brosnan or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're not looking for yourselves in that sense, are you? It's a different
It
view.
is clever how they cut from one to the other.
Yeah.
But you can see it's Wayne because before he dives off the dam, there's a top shot. I can see it's him. Because your hair's thicker than pieces.
Well, it was.
It was.
But you know, for us, I mean, the other side for us is when I was doing the dam jump, you know, as I was taking off, just as I was taking off, and you know, you hear all the cameras up to speed, and there's like about 18 cameras, and they're all going, you know, camera one speed, and hearing the whizzing of the motors of the cameras in those days, you know, it wasn't digital, and you know, you're just cluing yourself into the action of what you've got to do and how you've got to manoeuvre in position and get into the right spot at the right time for the crane to come over. All this you're working out and not making it look like that. And then I get in position, and all I can see in the distance is the paramedics with the paramedic helicopter and a big red cross on the floor where they had to take me if it all went wrong. And then just as I'm about to take off, the Italian crane operator does the famous so that's what we see. You know, it's different. It's a different perspective.
What about when they put you on? You have those sunglasses on.
Oh, I don't know whether you've got time for that story.
Go on, quick. We've got time for a minute. Yeah. Of course we
So the second unit director I knew very well. I'd worked on loads of stuff with him, and so I thought I would really upset him by, we did the second jump, and we only just made the jump in time before we lost the light on the dam, and they're thrilled. They checked all 18 cameras, they've got it, they're like, thank Christ, because otherwise they won't get the shot. And I get on, I've got a radio, carrying a radio with me, and I get on and I say, Ian, do you think they noticed I was wearing my sunglasses? And I put my sunglasses on. And Ian is silenced, and he's gone, what the? And he's now screaming at the continuity woman. The continuity woman is like, what the fuck? I never noticed he's wearing sunglasses, and they're now thinking, what are they going to say to the Broccolis and you know, Michael Wilson, that they let me jump with my sunglasses on. I put the sunglasses on afterwards. So that was well done.
Just one more thing, The Sound of Music is my favourite film.
We needed to know that. I was going to ask what was your favourite film?
I can't stand the sound.
Brilliant. Fantastic. That's been awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
All right, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.